Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're kicking off a really magical visual journey through the Urdu alphabet. In this explainer, we are diving deep into the Haruf tehjī. That's the absolutely beautiful flowing set of letters that make up the entire Urdu language. Whether you're a focused learner trying to brush up on your skills or a young explorer ready to tackle something completely new, we've structured this breakdown to make these letters basically unforgettable. We're going to use the power of visualization today. We're turning abstract shapes into a vibrant, cartoon-filled neighborhood packed with fascinating characters. So, let me ask you right off the bat, are you ready to meet these letters and their cartoon friends? Come on, I want you to literally shout yes wherever you're sitting right now. We're using a technique today called the theater of the mind. By taking these written shapes and attaching them to really vivid, living stories in our imagination, you're going to lock these letters into your memory completely effortlessly.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to the world of Huruf tehjī, the alphabet neighborhoods. Now, every great journey begins with a single step, right? Or in our case, a single proud letter, and that is a leaf. A leaf kicks things off with some amazing words. Anar, which is a juicy pomegranate, a super sweet mango, and unt, a tall desert camel. But to truly grasp how this entire alphabet works, I want you to compare that tall, perfectly straight vertical line of a leaf with the wide, flat, curved boat shape right next to it. That boat shape, that's the foundation for our very first massive alphabet neighborhood, the B family. Just visualize that difference for a second. A leaf is like a straight walking stick, while the B family letters look exactly like a wide boat resting on the water, just waiting for dots to be dropped underneath or on top of it to totally change its identity.
Moving right along to Aleph and the Bani family, the boat-shaped letters. Now, what's really interesting here is how simple dot placement changes the whole game. Look at that first one. B has just one dot below. We've got Bunder, the monkey, and Billy, the cat, sharing bartan, which are utensils. Just picture that cartoon monkey and cat having dinner together. Right below that is Pei, carrying 3 dots underneath. Think pani for water and a colorful patang, a kite flying high over a pahar, a mountain. Next up is Te with 2 dots right on top, giving us a sweet tarbuz, watermelon, a fluttering titli, a butterfly, and a thala, a lock. Then things get interesting with the hard te, which actually wears a tiny symbol called a toi on its head instead of dots. This gives us tomator for tomato, a chugging train, and a topi or a hat. Finally, we have se with 3 dots on top. That brings us summer for fruit, soraya for stars, and sawab meaning reward.
All right, next neighborhood, Jim and Dal's companions, bellies and curves.
Okay, I want you to picture this vividly with me. Check out the letter Jim. See how it has 1 dot right in its big round belly? Imagine a jahaz, an airplane, flying over a dense green jungle, and out of nowhere it drops a juta, a shoe. Next is J, with 3 dots hanging out in its belly. Picture the chand, the glowing moon, while a tiny chidiya, a bird, eats right out of a chamach, a spoon. Below that is Hey, which has absolutely no dots at all. It represents delicious sweet halva, your hath or hand, and the cool hava, the wind. And finishing this group is Khe, which balances 1 single dot right on its head. Look at that sleepy cartoon Khargosh, the rabbit, munching on a karbuza, a melon, inside its own khwab, its dream. Let's keep this story going as we meet the Dal and Ray families. Now, these letters are a bit smaller with these nice, smooth, rounded backs. Look at Dal. Imagine walking up to a darakht, a tree, opening a darwaza, a door, just to grab your doodh, your milk. Right under that is the hard Dal, rocking that little toi symbol again. Picture a driver carrying a dabba, a box, and a dunda, a stick. Next up is Zal, representing Zain for mind, Zikr for remembrance, and Zaika for taste. Then we smoothly slide over into the Ray family. Ray gives us the rasta, the path, painted in bright rung or color, leading straight to some fresh roti, bread. The hard Ray, which is actually found inside words, gives us pahar for mountain, hartal for strike, and a karahi, a cooking pan. Then Zay introduces us to the Zameen, the earth, where a tall zurafa, a giraffe, reaches its zaban, its tongue, high up into the leaves. And finally, Zay gives us Jala, meaning hail, falling deep into the Jarf valleys of Zub. Next up, the journey from scene to toe, slithering snakes and loops. And this brilliantly illustrates how linking shapes to stories just locks these concepts into your brain. Look at the letter Sin with its little teeth and slithering curved tail. Think of a juicy sayab, an apple, baking under the warm suraj, the sun, and the evening sitara,
the stars. Right below that is sheen with 3 dots on top. Imagine a majestic shur, a lion, sitting under a shajar, a tree, just staring at its reflection in a shisha, a glass mirror. Next are the looped letters, sad and zad. Sad brings us sabun, for soap, a comfy sofa, and the absolute virtue of sabar, patience. Zad, wearing a single dot, brings us zarb, to multiply, zarurat for need, and a massive ziafat, a feast. Right after those, we hit the tall, proud letters Taway and Zoe. For Taway, picture a bright green cartoon toda, a parrot. It's happily flying right alongside a massive tiara, an airplane. And as they soar through the clouds, the parrot waves its wing down at a talib, a student, who's studying hard on the ground below. Add one single dot to that shape, and you get Zoe, which gives us zarf, meaning a vessel, zuhur, meaning appearance, and zahir, meaning obvious. Moving on to ain, fe, and kaf, loops and dots. Let's decode these unique shapes. First up is ain, opening its wide mouth for ilm, knowledge, reading with an ainak, glasses, to celebrate the joyful holiday of Eid. Place a dot right on its head and you get ghain. I want you to picture these bright red ghubara balloons floating directly out of a dark, mysterious ghar, a cave, that happens to be completely full of ghalla, grain. Next is the looped letter fi. Picture a playful little fakta, a dove, just kicking around a football inside a movie theater while watching a film. Finally, the deeper, rounder loop of kaf gives us a qalam, a pen, to write on a kameez, a shirt, while standing outside a giant stone kila, a fort. Let's move to the next group and see how this builds. Look at kaf with its slanted top line. We've got a kitab, a book, sitting on a kursi, a chair, while a kabuter, a pigeon, perches right on top. Add a second slanted line to that shape and you get gaf, where a beautiful red gulab, a rose, is held by a guy, a cow, who is somehow bouncing a gained, a ball. Next is the tall hook of lam. See the larka, the boy, carrying heavy lukri, wood, and a super sour lemon, a lemon. Finally, we reach meme, which is this small, round loop facing downward. Imagine a very smart muchli, a fish, lounging inside a makan, a house, literally scrolling through its very own smart mobile phone. And here we are, final letters and lovely words. The end of the journey. Can you actually believe it? We have enthusiastically navigated the twists, the turns, the boats, the bellies, and the loops, and we have officially reached the final magical neighborhood. Let's review these last brilliant shapes. First is noon, which looks like a deep bowl with a single dot right in the middle. It brings us nariel, a coconut, your nak, your nose, and namak, salt. Then there is wav, which looks kind of like a tiny comma. Picture a giant cartoon whale squeezing into a tiny little wordy, a uniform, while constantly checking the waqt, the time. Next is the round circular he. Imagine a massive hathi, an elephant, standing outside a hospital just to feel the cool hava, the wind. And our grand finale is the letter ye, looking almost like a swan floating backward. It brings us yakni, a warm broth, a precious yakut, a ruby, and yatim, an orphan. Now, for the highly focused learners out there, you might be wondering about one really special symbol we didn't assign a cartoon story to. That is the hamza. Hamza is actually a unique helper letter. It acts as a phonetic buddy, a connector that alters the vowel sounds of the other letters. And because it has this special behind-the-scenes job, it isn't taught with its own separate starting vocabulary words. It just sits quietly in the background, making sure the other letters sound their absolute best. Shabash! That means well done. You have successfully explored the entire Haruf Tehji. Seriously, I want to congratulate you. Your incredible attention to all these amazing shapes, these unique sounds, and the vivid, colorful cartoon stories we visualized today, well, that's exactly what makes learning so powerful. You took simple lines and dots and transformed them into living, breathing vocabulary. Before we completely wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. Just look around the room you are sitting in right now. Based on the shapes and sounds we just mastered, what items can you spot that start with these magical letters? Is there a kitab on your desk? Do you see a darwaza? I challenge you to instantly apply what you've learned today. Let your everyday world become a canvas for your new vocabulary. Keep exploring and enjoy the magic of learning. See you next time.